Good morning, children. Welcome to Srichaitanya YouTube channel. See, today we will be discussing about the additional academic support we are providing to the students of Srichaitanya. Always at Srichaitanya, we try to provide maximum academic benefits and an edge to the students over any other student in the country. So, in that context, the R&D wing of Srichaitanya developed an edutech tool, edutech app, that is Srichaitanya's Infinitylearn meta app some 3 years back. Now, today we will be discussing about the main features of this digital app. See, generally what will happen is some students during the regular classes, for the whole of the class, they may not be much focused. So, if they are not much focused for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in a lecture, then what will happen is some part of that concept which students may not digest at that particular instant. So, when they are practicing questions related to that concept, so as they are not that as they do not have much clarity in those concepts, they may take little bit more time in solving the numericals or in understanding the concepts. So, in order to provide an additional benefit to minimize this non-focusing time of the students, we are providing video lectures in all topics of all chapters of all subjects. These video lectures are ready-made available in our app. Now, let us assume a particular student did not focus much for about 10 minutes in a physics class or chemistry class or botany or zoology class, mathematics class. If the student is not sure of that particular concept or that particular subtopic, then after the classes are completed, then if the student can glance through the video lecture of the same subtopic for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes till the student gets a clarity, then the student will understand the concepts thoroughly and practicing the questions and answering the questions related to that particular concept also can be done perfectly. So, that is the first feature of this Infinitylearn meta app, digital meta app. Now, the second, explanation to all questions present in the Srichaitanya material. Srichaitanya materials are full proof materials in every objective examinations, either it may be a NEET or GMains or advanced or whatever be the type of the objective examination. More than 95% of the questions in those examinations are present in our materials. So, they are that much pakka materials. So, after the explanation of classes during the lectures, then after the classes are completed, in the practice sessions, they need to practice the questions from our materials. So, during the practicing questions from the materials, if ever they have any doubt, they need to go to the concerned lecturer and they will be getting the clarification of that particular doubt that is normally happening in our physical model of the learning process. Then, after going to the home, if ever a student has any doubt pertaining to the questions present in our materials, then again waiting till the next day to come to the college to interact with the faculty, instead of avoiding this time gap, then instantaneously student can get explanation to every question that is present in the materials of the Srichaitanya. So, that feature is the most important feature which is made available to the students of Srichaitanya in IL Meta app. So, third one, practicing questions in the form of assignments. See, generally every alternate day or every day we will be providing some assignments to the students pertaining to that weekend test. So, that assignments students can practice. So, if ever a student has any doubt in that questions present in the assignment, so after submitting that assignment test, then student will be getting all the explanation to all the questions. So, that practicing questions in the form of assignments and also getting doubts cleared in the questions of these assignments is also made possible in the Infinitylearn meta app. Now, the fourth one, doubts clearance. Apart from our material, or even if the questions are present in our material, if a student has any doubt, then simply the student can post that question into the doubts clearance page, then instantaneously student will be getting explanation to that questions. Suppose if the student is not happy with the explanation to the questions that was given in the doubt clarification, doubt clearance division, then it will direct that to a personal tutor. Then within 15 minutes of the time, that a personal tutor will give a clarity to the question that was posted by the students in the doubt clarification section. So, here the Srichaitanya is making use of that AI mechanism, that means artificial intelligence, to clear the doubts of the students instantaneously or at the earliest. Then the next and the most important is create your own test. Now, take for example, I am a student and this coming Monday I have a test in certain syllabus. So, instead of taking the test directly before the test, I can create a small test. That means in every subject 10 questions, 20 questions, 15 questions or any number of questions as of you need. So, I can create a question paper for myself in this IL Meta app and I can write the test. So, based on the way I have written and the confidence with which I have written the test, and based on the marks I get in the test created myself, then I will be knowing to what extent I have prepared for this practice test. If ever I feel that I have not prepared much, then still I will be having some time to clear or to clarify myself all the concepts related to or all the syllabus related to that weekend test or that module test. Then once I get the confidence, naturally I will be taking the exam with more clarity and more confidence and I will be getting better marks. And this create your own test, that means I can create a test either from the errors which I have written. I have attended the test. That means take for example, in every week we will be conducting some tests. So, in all these tests, every student will commit some mistakes. Then what will happen is on that examination day, student will be glancing through that questions and that student can clear the doubts of the questions which were made wrong, but after 3 or 4 weeks, students may forget. So, in order to have the clarity on the questions which the students made wrong in the internal examinations, so after few weeks I can create my own test. That means students can create their own test in the errors committed by themselves, not errors committed by all the students, errors committed by that particular student. This is the wonderful feature and this is the feature by which student can increase the marks from test on test. Now, take for example, after every 3 or 4 weekend test we will be conducting unit test. In these weekend test, students may commit the mistake. So, prior to the unit test or prior to the cumulative test, if the students can create a test in the errors committed by themselves, then before taking the unit test, that student will be damn sure of all the questions that he attempted in the form of weekend test prior to the unit test or prior to the cumulative test. If this CYOT feature is a wonderful tool to the students to improve their marks from test on test and improve their marks from weekend test to unit test to part test to grand test. And students can create their own, that means create your own test feature, that means they can create the test from the questions present in our large question bank of Srichaitanya. Then they can create a test in the previous year's final examination questions. Then this is also a wonderful feature which is available, which is made available to the students by the Srichaitanya in IL Meta app. Then 6th pre-weekend test. Pre-weekend test means every weekend test. For every Monday generally we will conduct the test, or every Saturday or Monday we will be conducting the test. Before that actual internal practice test, we will give a pre-weekend test to the students in the same syllabus. Then if the pre-weekend test, if the student attempts, then student will be knowing to what extent they have prepared for the weekend test. So, if ever there are some gaps in any of the particular topic or subtopic related to that particular weekend, then after attending the pre-weekend test, still student has some time, and in that time the student can improve the topics where the student is lagging, and the student can take that weekend examination confidently. So, these are the features which are available to the students in this Infinitylearn Meta app. So, children, you just make use of all these features to increase your marks gradually. This IL Meta app is an add-on tool to your classroom learning, and this will help you like anything to improve your marks from test on test and also in the final examination. Is it clear, children? And I hope that you will be using these features previously, and in the coming days we expect you to participate actively by making use of all these features in IL Meta app. And I also request the parents to see your wards are making use of all these features which are exclusively available to the students of Srichaitanya. Now, apart from all these features, now we are giving a new benefit, that means one more feather to the cap of this IL Meta app, and which will give the thumping success to the students in the coming years. Now, in the NEET 2024, the students of Srichaitanya did exceptionally well, and the students of Srichaitanya got marks 720, 715, 711, 710, 705, 700. Above 700 there are 120 students. Now, all these 120 students and also the students who got a wonderful marks in the NEET examination undergone in full-fledged revision program from September 2023 to February 2024. In this 6 months gap, that means in that 6 months full-fledged revision program, we have tested students in 5,000 questions, and from these questions in the final NEET examination, majority, that means more than 95% of the questions which are there in the NEET 2024 are present in our full-fledged and exhaustive revision program which we organized from September 2023 to February 2024. Now, that questions made the students to feel confident, and that questions made the students to get exceptionally better marks, best marks in the final NEET examination. Now, we are making all those questions available to the current students who are preparing for the NEET 2025. So, that is a super beneficial program exclusively to the students of Srichaitanya. Now, 5,000 plus super NEET questions which gave the thumping success to the students, Srichaitanya students in the NEET 2024 are made available to the present students. Now, all these 5,000 questions we made chapter wise. Suppose in a chapter we have more than 30 questions, let us assume. Then we made that chapter, take for example atomic structure 1, atomic structure 2, atomic structure 3. In the atomic structure 1 there will be 30 questions, in the atomic structure 2 there will be 30 questions, in the atomic structure 3 there will be 30 questions. So, all these 5,000 questions are divided, segregated into chapter wise, and all these chapter wise tests are made available to the students who are preparing for NEET 2025, that means the present seniors, and the students who are preparing for NEET 2026, that means the present juniors. So, all these 5000 plus questions are made available to the current juniors and also current seniors. Now, children, let us see. Now, take for example, the next week you have a test in some ionic equilibrium. Let us assume, just an example I am giving you, ionic equilibrium. That is the test which the present senior students are writing next week. Let us assume. Then the same, that means all the students, before taking that actual internal examination, they can attempt the test from the ionic equilibrium, and they are the most important and most useful questions to the students to build their concepts and to build up their thought process, to increase their thought process in answering any such type of questions which they will get in the upcoming examinations. So, once the student can take the test before that actual internal practice test, that will give confidence to the students, and that confidence will make an additional edge to the students, with that student can get marks comfortably. Now, we enabled that feature to both juniors as well as seniors, both can make use of it. Then the thing is, you can also practice all these questions prior to this weekend test. Already I have explained you. That means before your actual internal weekend examination or module test or part test, if you can take these practice tests, that means these tests based on the last year 5000 plus questions, then it will give you an additional edge over all other students. Now, then what you need to make use of this? It is very simple. Just log into IL Meta app, that is it. If you can log into IL Meta app, you can make use of this feature and you can write all the tests which are readily available. See, in that, after login to this Meta app, go to the home, and after that tests, and then in the test mock test, and in the mock test chapter wise tests. So, in these chapter wise tests, all the chapters tests are readily available to you now. Now, you can write the tests in the syllabus which is already happened to you and which will come in the upcoming weeks. So, children, generally the questions that we test to the students in the revision program and pre-revision program, post-revision program, that means especially in the revision program, are more useful and more related, more on par with the final examination. So, we want our students to do still more than in the 2025, than when compared to the 2024. We gave this additional benefit to the students of Srichaitanya, that means exclusively to you. So, children, make use of this feature and increase your confidence levels and take the exam confidently and get better marks in internal examinations and also in the final NEET 2025. So, we wish you all the very, very best. Thank you, children.